Well, hello everyone. I am putting together a video today to discuss how to animate a 4-bar linkage and how to plot a coupler curve. Now this is attempt number 2. I had a little bit of difficulty last time, so if you're watching this for the second time now, go ahead and skip to the end when I actually do it right, because this will all be just stuff I've done before. So we're going to start by making the 4-bar linkage. Here, there are 4 bars. You've got a ground linkage, a rotating crank, a coupler, and a rocker. So that's the type of mechanism I'm going to be making. Now, I've already done the math in my head, so I actually know what my link lengths need to be. I'm going to start by making my ground link. So here, I'll just make it nice and simple. Put circle, circle. And then I'm going to create a center line here. And another center line here. I'm going to go ahead and select these two, control clicking on them, and I'm going to make them coincident just so that it always falls in the midline there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to define 2 dimensions. Dimension from here to here, which I want that to be 1 inch, and then the distance from here to the center, which I want this to be 10 inches. Okay. We'll go ahead and say that I want, not that, I want this. We'll have this be about 2 inches wide. And I'm going to make my circle itself be half an inch, because why not? Okay, one last piece. I'm going to mirror this over there so I have a nice uniform bar. So I'll take that mirrored about my center line here. And there we go, exit sketch. I'll extrude this up 1/4 of an inch, and this will be my ground linkage. And done. 1/4 of an inch is a little thick, but you know, maybe we're making this out of plastic. So I will file, save as. And I've already got a folder set up. I'm just going to name this ground. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple of changes to my sketch, and that's all I'm going to do to make my different 4 bars. Here, I'm just changing this dimension. So here for a crank, I want a crank length to be about 6 inches. So I'm going to change this to be 3. Hit enter, exit sketch, it'll update. I will file save as. If you just hit file save, it'll save over the ground one. Don't do that. Crank. Set my rocker. So here I've got 20 plus 3. And so that's, I need to have my P plus Q has to be larger than 20 plus 3. So I'm going to have that be, my rocker is going to be 12. Oh, I should have written 6. There it is. Exit sketch. File, save as. And this will be my rocker. And then one last change. This will be 16. And this will be my coupler. Oh, should only be 8. Half the distance. Keep forgetting that. I could have dimensioned between these two circles. That would have been a lot easier in hindsight. And then we'll save this as coupler. Okay. Just because this is my coupler, and because I am anticipating there being a change, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back in and adjust this sketch a little bit. So here, I'm going to make this line be for construction. Just going to kind of break my drawing. And then I'm going to just go ahead and make my coupler be much larger than it was before. Here I'm going to have this one be horizontal. Escape. And I'll select these two sides. Make them be equal. And then I will smart dimension this distance here, and I will say that that is 8 inches. It could be anything. Hit escape. Now it's saying that these two lines are not. Oh yeah, because I didn't define a length for that top part. So we'll just say this too is also 10 inches. And that'll fully define my sketch. But I'm going to add in a couple of just basically holes. So I'm going to have it mirror about this point down here, and it'll rotate in about a 45-degree arc around there. So draw some circles. I'm not going to do a great job of positioning this. In reality, I probably should. Oops. You'll notice that it's already recognizing that I'm cutting this into it. I'm going to dimension this hole and then call it good where it's at. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that circle hole and I'm going to do a circular sketch pattern. So here, this is where is it rotating about. I want it to be about that point. Entities to pattern. That. Looks like it picked a point for me. I don't want that one. I want this one. There it is. I'm gonna sneeze. Woo! I only want this to go about maybe 60 degrees. Nah, that's probably 120 degrees. There it is. And instead of 4 of them, I want 5 because we have to make 5 different coupler curves. So I'll hit OK. There's my 5 new holes. I'll hit exit sketch. And you'll notice I've got a nice, neat little coupler with 5 holes that I can trace. So I'll go ahead and save this again. And then we'll do a new assembly. Well, first thing you're going to have to do in the assembly is you're going to have to put in all the mates so that your component is neatly positioned. But you got to add all the parts before you can put in the mates. Here, I'm going go ahead and grab the ground. The first part you put in is going to be, fixed. You'll see over here, there's an F. That means it doesn't move. It's considered to be the ground. Because it's called the ground component, I do want that to be the ground. I want it to be grounded and fixed. We'll go ahead and add in our other 3 components. So start with crank. I'm going to put my crank on this side. Then I'm going to pick the rocker. Put the rocker on this side. And then lastly, input the coupler, which is already open because that was the last thing I was working on, and put it up the top. So, okay, now I'm going to go into view, hide show temporary axes. This will show all the axes where I extruded the circle, so I can mate the axes together. Now it's time to put in some mates. So I click on mate, go to this axis, go to that axis. Those 2 axes should be coincident, and I hit OK. Now I'll go ahead and mate face to face. So here I want that face. Nice. To this face. And hit OK. We'll just keep going on the line. This axis, I want it to mate with this axis. Axis coincident, yes. I'm going to go ahead and put the rocker on the ground before I finish the coupler. It starts getting a little ugly when all the components are stacked on top of each other, in my opinion. Okay, not a ton of space to reach in there and grab a face, but looks like I have enough. Face to face, okay. So now I have face to face. We'll do axis to axis, and then I will mate one of the faces of the coupler to either the crank or the rocker. Here I'll probably mate it to the crank. The bottom face of the coupler to the top face of the crank, and that brings it into place, and now I am done with my mates. And you'll notice that I can zoom out nicely. I can spin this in 360 degrees. Alright, so my next step is I have to go to my SolidWorks add-ins and I have to turn on SolidWorks Motion. This is going to allow me to do a motion study. If I go down here to motion study, I'll be able to put in a brand new one. We're going to start by clicking motion analysis. Up here, we don't want to be working in animation, we want to be in a motion analysis. And then I'm going to add a motor. Here, this is going to be a rotary motor. Now, in my last video, I over-constrained this by picking something for all 3 of these. In reality, all you have to do is just click this axis. That's it. That was the mistake I made in the last video. Hit OK. Hit yes. It's going to assume that that axis now is going to be positioned relative to ground. So now when I hit calculate, oh, it's going to give me an error. I'm going to try just hitting calculate again. Oh, you do not like this, do you? It hits a point of inflection, and apparently it doesn't like that. So I'm going to try starting by making a new motion study. See if I can't move this to a different piece. Here, we'll once again do our rotary motor. Go down, select this axis, set it to 20 RPM and hit OK. We'll do our calculate. Went backwards, that's fine. If you want it to go longer, you can grab on this black piece and we'll have it go a little longer, recalculate it. Nice. All right, so now that we have our motor picked and everything, I'm going to go to my results tab. Oh, I'm in animation. My bad. Oops. We'll try that again. Here you'll notice that the resolution of this is much, much finer than it is for animation. That's on purpose. Motion analysis is supposed to be much more in-depth than an animation is. Okay. Kind of regretting making it go 8 seconds because it's taken forever. But you know what? Things were learned. I'm going to go to my results tab. Select a category, displacement, trace path, path I want to trace. I'm just going to go ahead and you can either select the axis. Well, you're supposed to select the circle. It'll select the center of the circle and it will just actually plot it right there for you. Now I'm going to zoom to my y-axis, get to a place where I can see it, and then control pan. This is the image that I'm looking for. It shows the path. You can zoom in if you want to collapse the motion manager, make this a little bigger, zoom in. I'm just looking to see 5 coupler curves like this. So here's one of them. Now I can take this, take a screenshot of it, delete this, select a different circle, and trace that path then too. Okay, so here I've got this one, I've switched it, I'll hit OK. It'll change my path, so I can, I guess, drop this down again, and then I would take a screenshot here. And you'll notice that this is very distinctly different from the second coupler curve. Now I will switch, go back to my results, pop this out, right click, edit feature, and then all I'll do is select a different curve. Hit OK. Okay, that didn't update. So, oh, there it is. There it updated. Oh, and then it immediately goes back. Nice work. So I'll hit recalculate. SolidWorks. Fickle mistress. So once again, I'm just going to go, when this is done, which I should not have made this 8 seconds. It can complete in 4. But I'll just zoom in from the top again and take another screenshot. Now you have to do that 5 times. You have 5 different circles that you've created. That's basically what I'm looking for this assignment. All right. Now make sure to, in your document, state what your link lengths are and show me, try to get a pretty consistent view. Might help if you just click top view because it'll zoom in like this. Try to get a pretty consistent view between your 5 screenshots because that'll allow you to at least compare what the different coupler curves look like compared to each other.